What is up guys, Cody here, and welcome to another Napoleon Total War video. So this is going to be a 2v2 on Borodino, and this was sent in to me by Sanibel, so thank you very much for the replay. Now, the rules for this battle... Let's see him. Okay, so before that, it is raining, guys, so Napoleon said it himself. It's going to be a lot of misfires happening today, just because of the rain, so this is going to be a very interesting battle, just because we will see how rain can truly affect some armies. But like I was saying, the rules for this battle were, I believe, no artillery, max 4 lights, and the final rule was max 3 cavalry. So that's exactly what the armies brought. So Sanibel is going to be in command of the French, and then his ally on the left side is going to be in command of Russia. Now, you can see Sanibel has control of this high ground right now, and this can be a huge turning point in this battle. But it does look like he's going to be moving over to the right side of the map to kind of contain or secure the right side. You can see there's actually some pretty big buildings here. Actually, one massive building with that can hold almost 400 troops. But one thing that the enemy opponent that is going to have to do, or Sanibel, is they're going to have to cross. Now, there's only one... Actually, I take that back. There are 2 checkpoints to cross into the opponent's territory, and that is this checkpoint right here, and then there's one on the far right side of the map, depending on how you look at it. One right over here. Now, this entrance is much harder to get to, just because you guys are very clustered as they come across the side. But once you do make it over to the side, you know, you can easily flank the opponent. You can see Sanibel taking the first house. So it looks like he's going to be controlling this side, and what's nice about his positioning is he's going to be the only person that's in control of a building on this side. Meanwhile, Russia is going to be facing the Swedish. And I love the rules on this battle. Makes for a very realistic game. You can see almost all line of infantry for, you know, the main body. So that's going to be very interesting on how they do that. Sweden bringing a pretty elite cav force, bringing 3 lifeguards of horse. And then finally on the other side we have the Ottomans. So the Ottomans went with quite an interesting build. You can see a lot of melee units in the back. And then in front he has his rifles, so 125 range rifles. They are going to outrange the French rifles, so we will see how Sanibel is able to counter that. Looks like he's sending some Safai cavalry over to the flank. He might actually try to be crossing, so it might be very interesting. Okay, so it does look like he's... Actually, I don't know. It really does look like he's going to be crossing, and if he does, that's going to make this extremely... interesting to look at. So yes, he is crossing, but look at this. Ottomans using the range and actually managing to take out one guy. They are going to be wasting a ton of volleys, but they have taken out 2 guys, so... French player needs to do something quick in order to counter this. He's going to be laying down stakes, and this is going to prevent a lot of these volleys from actually hitting his allies, or his troops. So he's going to lay the stakes down. That's not only going to prevent the bullets, but also prevent cav charges. But the Ottoman player has already found a way to counter that. He's going to be crossing over to the left side of the map, guys. This is going to be crazy. Looks like he's sending almost over half an army over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 units to the left side of the map. The French player really needs to do something to counter this, and especially if he's going to be going into melee combat. Meanwhile, it looks like the Russian player is actually going to be trying to flank the Swedish player over here on the left flank. What the French player could be doing right now, instead of camping on this hill, he could be pushing outward. And that's going to, because the Ottomans are pretty much totally isolated. You know, Sweden and the Ottomans are completely isolated from one another. So, I mean, if someone was to pull back and just 2v1 someone, I think the Sanibel and his ally are in a much better position to do so. You can see Sweden's kind of cutting back his force right now, making sure he does not get flanked. One major thing he is doing that is not correct is look how thick his lines are, guys. 4 lines thick as to where the French player is, or excuse me, the Russian player is 2. So that might play a huge factor. It looks like the skirmish engagement is still continuing. And yes, so it does look like the French player is going to be sending over some units, but I don't think these units are going to be able to counter over 11 Ottoman units, and over half those are melee troops. So he is sending cavalry into square right now. He sees that, so he's going to be falling back. Good job by Sanibel forming square, preventing that cav from doing any damage. Actually managed to take out 3 guys, but this is going to open an opportunity for the Ottomans to push up their line infantry and try to counter them. So it looks like the French player is going to get out of square formation and form a line. This line is about to face half an army, so we will see how this turns out. Will he form square? Yes, he will. Good move here. Faking the Ottoman cavalry and forcing those guys to go flying in the air. Looks like a couple guys were stranded outside the square, ended up dying. Not good. Ottoman cavalry once again going to be pulling back from the engagement and allowing his main body to form up. Meanwhile, this is really not looking good for the French player. You can see he's only guarding with 2 units right now compared to an entire army. He needs to shift over way more troops to counter this. And look at the melee troops. Here they come, guys. It is about to get intense really quickly. Big columns. And let the battle begin. So they're going to engage in melee right now. The French are somewhat prepared. You know, they are in square, but when it comes to 3 Janissaries that are extremely skilled in melee, there's no match. They're just going to get overrun instantly. But it looks like he's going to be setting up a second line of defense. Seeing that he's taking a lot of volleys from those rifles and can't respond, he's actually going to be pulling back. Smart move there. Let's take a look on the other side of the map. Oop, going underground. Excuse me. So it looks like some skirmishing, but nothing too intense is happening on that side. Meanwhile, the Ottomans are breaking through. You can see the Safai cavalry now coming in, and they're actually going to be charging into the light infantry. So great job here by the Ottoman player, maximizing his effectiveness with this cavalry. Looks like the French player is going to be sending over some Empress Dragoons. But I think the Ottoman player will be prepared and form square, but who knows? Yes, he did form square. But will French player? Yes, he did pull back. Awesome. Okay, so man, that guard cap is devastating. You see, broke those guys with 46 guys still left, and he's going to continue to chase those guys down. Looking at the Ottoman force, they're going to continue their push, this time into the Young Guard. A little bit more of a challenge for these Janissaries, but when they still have their numbers, actually, they're extremely high still. I don't think any have broken or got below 100, so they are tired, though, and that's going to be a big factor in this engagement. Looks like the Empress Dragoons are going to be falling back, seeing that his opponent is forming square. But just look at the reserves this Ottoman player has. His generals, a lot of melee troops still available. But you can see the French player is just not sending over reinforcements that he desperately needs. He should be sending over many more units. You can just see how many units the Ottomans are putting forth as to where the French is only putting, what, 2 units? So it really is not looking good. Meanwhile, it looks like the Russian player is making a move right now. You see he's flanking these Jaegers, and the Swedish are not in a good formation right now. Even though they are militia, they are still not in a good position. You see 2 lines thick as to where these guys are at least 4 lines thick. So looks like there's going to be a big engagement on this side as well. The 2 armies are going to clash on the Russian right flank, Swedish left flank. Let's see, who will get first volleys? I believe it will be the Russians. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they're not even in range. Okay, this is... Oh, I thought he was gonna... Hang on, if he's doing what I think he's going to be doing... Oh, these are Jaegers. Never mind, I thought they were militia. Anyways, that engagement is continuing. But look at this. The Young Guard getting destroyed right now. Numbers are getting extremely low. And there they go, breaking at over half health. So this freed up a lot of space for the Ottoman player. And I don't think the French player, you know, routed a single enemy unit, so not looking good on the right flank, but Russia is doing their best on the left. So smart move here. Russia does have the light advantage here, the range advantage. So instead of engaging and, you know, 50-50 or chance of winning this engagement, actually, I don't think he would even win this engagement, seeing that he is going up against some lifeguards afoot. So smart move here. He's going to just skirmish with those line infantry that can't respond, deplete their numbers, and I believe he will engage then. But over here, Russia doing a phenomenal job flanking the Jaegers, but the Swedish actually managed to break a musketeer unit with some lifeguards of horse. Good job there, but they're going to be countered with some elite Russian cavalry. But their numbers are pretty low, so they will rout eventually. Okay, here we go, guys. It looks like the left flank is picking up now from the Sweden's point of view. Charging in some cavalry. Line infantry will be there to respond. Will they get their volleys in now? Yes, they will. Let's check this out, guys. Come on, get your volleys in. Oh, point blank. That was devastating. But he did not form square though, so he's going to lose a lot of guys, but he did deplete that cavalry quite a bit. And now with the cavalry pushed up, he's going to push up his line infantry. You see the line infantry are now going to engage. And it looks like these guys are not firing, not too sure why. Maybe they're caught up in melee with the cavalry, so good job there by Sweden. But over here on the left flank, things are just not looking good. Let's take a look back at the Ottoman versus French battle or engagement. So it looks like the Polish Legion is it's the similar fate for all these units. They just one by one they're getting thrown in, and they just form square, and the same thing just keeps happening over and over again. Ottoman player, great job pushing in his melee troops and then flanking with his line infantry and really taking down these numbers. I actually think the line infantry is taking down more guys than the melee engagement itself. So it's pretty lost for the French player at this point on this side of the battle. He's got some Polish Legion in this house, but with Janissaries, I don't think they're going to be holding out for too long. But he does have some lights here. The only issue with that is they are unprotected. He does not have any line infantry to protect from any cavalry. And it looks like the Ottomans do have some cav units left, so you will have to worry about that. But meanwhile, looks like Sweden's holding their ground on this flank. They are. That cav really did deplete that unit quite a bit. Let's take a look on the left flank. Things are also fairly even. It looks like the Russians are actually losing this engagement right now. 41 guys, 70. Yeah, they're not looking too great. But here comes the Russian cavalry. And they're going to be charging into these line infantry. We'll see. Will he form square? No, he will not. Oh, that's going to be very, very devastating. His morale instantly dropping. And those guys should break fairly soon. So good job there. But it looks like the Swedish do have another cav unit that is in reserves right now. Meanwhile, they are engaging on the left flank. And now it looks like the French player is actually going to try and help aid the Russian player. Seeing that, you know, the Ottomans are victorious on this right flank, he's just going to give up most of his units and push west. But over here, that Russian cav unit did manage to break the line infantry, but they also broke. But that gave, you know, really good amount of time for these Russians to get some nice volleys in. Looks like we got some more Russian cav that are still behind the enemy lines, but they're going to be countered by some guards of horse. It looks, yep, okay, so the militia are pretty much isolated right now. They do have 2 chevrons. I think he pre-upgraded those, so I don't think they earned them in the game. Morale's getting low now, and it looks like the Russians are winning on this flank. You see, just being more spread out really, really helps, because the first line's firing. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like the stakes are blocking a ton of these bullets from actually hitting their targets. You see, this line infantry unit's only down to 107. Over here, though, Russia and the Swedish are still dueling it out. Still very even engagement. It's coming down. Oh, they got some melee engagement now. Okay, so got some line infantry up against some musketeers. Looks like the line infantry are going to break. Poor morale. Actually, I take that back. The morale's kind of gaining now. Okay, now it's switched to the musketeers. Their morale is getting very bad. You can see another musketeer unit has broken. So they're just trading morale right now. Very similar in terms of numbers. The Russians do outnumber them a little bit. And the Russians do have better stats. So I am thinking these Russians will win this engagement. Oh, they're going to be pulling back. Oh, they're charging into the general. We will see, can they kill the general staff for the Swedish? If they can, the morale for the Swedish will drop dramatically. Looks like the general did get a counter charge, really brought the morale down on that line infantry, and they do end up breaking. So good job there, getting a nice counter charge as well as some volleys in to break those guys. So now Sweden is able to flank, but look at this. Ottomans getting a charge straight into the backs of the Russians. That's really going to help the Swedish out, and they're not only going to just stop there, they're going to continue their charge onward into the other musketeer unit. Unable to form square. I think he didn't have any clue as to where these guys came from. So they are pretty much isolated right now, and what thought to be a Russian victory on this left flank turned out to be a great defeat, because the Swedish only lost a single unit in that engagement. But the Russians, they're actually holding strong right now up against these guard cav, very elite Ottoman guard cav. And now, oh, I missed it. Okay, so it looks like the Ottomans are storming this building right now. Actually, we're not too late to the party, hopefully. Actually, we kind of are. But you can see he's just flooding this house with as many melee troops. And look at this. Now, finally, the chasseurs are able to counter these rifles and get in range. Surprised he was this close to him. He should have been using his range a long time ago. But over here, look at this. The Ottomans are going to be flanking around the French. It looks like the French player notices what is going on, and he needs to protect his lights. If he cannot get there before these Ottomans do, these lights are doomed. Definitely going to be doomed. Oh, good volley by the French, but is that enough to break them? No, it's not. Managed to get into the light infantry. You can see guys flying, and they do break. So not good right now for the French. The French are losing a ton of guys. Ottoman force very strong right now. And here they come across the river. Let's take a look back at the... Wow, okay, so the Swedish really have held their ground. Very surprised by this. And it looks like it's going to be forcing the Russians back to where they started. Oh, man, this guard cav has just been doing an excellent job this game. So, wow, not only did he charge there, he's going to be charging into the backs of the musketeers. The Russian player is not forming square, though. That's going to be a huge concern. He did form square there, but it was a little late for this unit. You see the morale's getting pretty bad right now. The French, I don't know what he's trying to do. Looks like he's going to be falling back now. He should have been aiding his ally. But right now we do have a little engagement of lights. Looks like the French player did manage to break those elite cavalry that the Ottomans held. But you can just see the numbers for these Ottomans is just overwhelming compared to the allied French force. And here comes the Ottomans out of the house in time to once again attack. So they're going to be crossing this checkpoint right here. And the only thing that is stopping them is one Voltigeur unit. I highly doubt that this one unit is going to be able to counter this force of this magnitude. You probably should have stayed on this hill if this was going on right now, but it looks like he's going to be falling back. Here comes the charge, but before that, I don't want to miss it. It looks like the Russians are forced to fall back as well, so not good. And here they come, guys. Voltigeurs break on impact, and they are out of there. So literally the only unit that is holding this entire Ottoman force back now is this one chasseur unit, and their morale is not good whatsoever. So Ottomans are clearly victorious on this side. The French are now forced to pull back. It is not looking good, but he does have old guard. He hasn't put the old guard. Look, he has young guard and old guard. Wow, very elite force. Very small, but elite. Now the Russians are going to be forced to fall back. Now, with the Russians, they do have a fair amount of line infantry and lights, but so does the Swedish. They have some nice line infantry, fairly depleted, but they still have quite a force as well. But the Ottomans is the biggest concern for the French and the Russian player. Just seeing their size is just unbelievable. I mean, this is just line infantry. And they have barely lost anything. This unit, 113. I mean, even the Janissaries, their numbers are fairly high as well. Pretty much all above half health. And we got the General Mehmed Ali. I don't know why I say Muhammad. Be pretty cool if Muhammad Ali was in here. That'd be actually really awesome. See him with his boxing gloves on. That would be sick. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Ottomans, going to fast forward now. Things have slowed down. Looks like the Russians are not going to fall back all the way to where the French are. It looks like they're going to be defending. Nope, take that back. They're going to be falling back as well. These guys are going to have a final stand. Now, I love this. The balance of power is still even though the Russians and the French are highly outnumbered. They have the troops, the elite troops, to make that balance of power stay up. So, oh no. Oh, this poor Cheshire unit. Oh no, he's gonna get pinched on both sides right now. Oh, looks like he's not going to be bothered, and it looks like he's going to engage. Yep. Good volley there, dropping a couple guys. Definitely what the French player needs right now. Getting some good volleys in. So that was good. So he's going to stay there. He's just going to relax. Looks like the Swedish really don't care about him. Don't know why the Swedish are flanking on this far side. Maybe they want to group up with the Ottoman force. Who knows? If I were the Swedish, I would just continue assaulting. It would save a lot of time. But meanwhile, while the Ottomans are assaulting, their stamina is going to go back up. They are still very tired, these Janissaries, but they should go up eventually. Taking their sweet time right now. It's pretty funny to see that one isolated... Oh, no way! Oh, what a shame! What a shame! The stakes from the French actually managed to kill the general of the Swedish, so really not good for the morale. And I've had quite a few incidences myself on killing my guys on stakes, so that might have changed the tide of the battle, but still, the Ottoman force is extremely healthy. So, and they do have light still. I believe they have ammunition. I believe they do. Looks like the French players are going to continue to push, but let's keep fast forwarding. But if you look at the French and the Russians together, they do have a decent, maybe even sized force up against these Ottomans. Now, if the Ottomans attack just alone... Oh, great charge here. Straight into the lights. Great charge. I'm so glad I got that. So, awesome job by the 5e. It's going to prevent those lights from really doing a lot of damage in terms of skirmishing, because, the French player has no skirmishing power. So, great move there. Bringing them past half health. And now, the Ottomans are down to only 2 light units. So, great job there. But will he break them? That is the thing. You see, 5e are now going to get completely destroyed from all sides. Don't know if it was truly worth it to go after that rifle unit. But you can see 14 guys in green morale. That just shows you how powerful Mehmed Ali is right now. But here they go. It looks like they're going to be engaging one by one. Very surprised. Maybe a miss micro due to that engagement, but these young guard and old guard, oh, I really feel bad for this line unit, dropping from like 110 down to 77. Oh no, another volley, not good. So he's going to be attacking one by one right now, and this is something you really do not want to do. You want to wait for your ally, just because these guys are so elite and they do have the hill superiority, so this is going to make things quite uneven for the Ottomans right now, since they are attacking one at a time, and the reload speed of the young guard and the old guard are just insane. So they're going to pop off a lot of volleys before these guys actually manage to get into melee combat. Not only that, but these Janissaries are very tired, so it's going to take them quite some time to get into melee action. You can see very tired. They're slowly pushing up right now, trying to get in melee, but by doing that, you can see they're dropping like flies right now. I don't even think they will make it to, yeah, they won't even make it to melee combat. So, don't know why the Ottoman player is doing this right now. It is just not a smart move. He should be attacking, excuse me, as a whole, as to where, he's attacking one at a time. Like I said, these guys are very tired. It's going to take them a long time. Old guard are going to get a lot of volleys off. There they go. Look at this. Morale for the Ottomans is just atrocious. Old Guard having a blast right now. The Russians are just chilling on their flank, just protecting it. Not too much is happening there. But you can see the French player doing a good job right now in countering this Ottoman force. They did reach melee combat, but the Old Guard are very good in melee, and when these guys are very tired, it's not going to be good for them whatsoever. Their morale is going to be lower, and them getting kills is also going to be lower. Excuse my dog in the background. Shh. Don't do that. Anyways, so the Ottomans are really getting low on numbers now. They're going to be forced to pull back. You see they are breaking right now, one by one. They're just crumbling. I don't think the French player has lost a single unit yet, nor has the Russians. Russians still getting some good volleys off. These guys are exhausted. You just see how slow the pace is for them. Extremely slow. They do reach melee combat with the numbers they have. 78 versus 43. Not looking good right now. So the Ottoman players just totally changed the outcome of this battle right now by attacking like this. And it really does look like AI movements. And I really doubt that it actually is, but just the movements are not good whatsoever right now. Once again, getting into melee combat. They're going to be up against some musketeers right now. Some infantry. Even the general himself is going to be pushed up. So I think he realized that he is losing this. So he's going to try and inspire his guys. So he pushes his guys up, boosts their morale, and is going to pull back his general. But I think it is a little bit too late. The Swedish taking their sweet time and pushing. You see the morale just really drop just because the general is dead. Died on stakes. What a shame, but let's take a look back at the action. So the Ottomans, they're doing alright for the numbers they have. They finally made it into melee combat, but with the Old Guards, it's just like I said, once again, it's just not looking good. Exhausted, and then we got some fresh. Okay, look at this charge. Here they come. You just see the speed difference between a fresh unit and an exhausted unit. Straight through the gut. But I'm going to fast forward. That Ottoman attack went horribly wrong. I think the Russian player lost one unit. I think that was actually it. So, wow. Has the tide changed drastically? Okay, so the Swedish are now going to be pushing up. Morale, like I said, very, very poor. And the French should be assaulting. They should be. They do have the numbers. But it looks like they're going to be staying back. It looks like the French cavalry is just going to be chasing down some routing units. So they're dying one by one. There they go. All dead. And now it is up to the Swedish player to hopefully change the tide of this battle. See, taking their time right now. So I'm going to keep fast forwarding. He does have some reserves in the back. He's got some light infantry. He's pretty much have all line infantry and then 2 lights. That's it. Old Guard and Young Guard are going to be ready for this engagement. But you can just see the bloodbath that they've created for the Ottomans. I would say about 90% of these bodies are Ottoman bodies, if not more. But here they come. Let's see from their point of view, the Young Guard. They can clearly see the enemy. The rain hasn't been too much of a factor this game. It's kind of hard to notice, but there are a lot more misfires if you look up close. So here they come. If I was the Swedish player right now, I would use my range and target, the elite units, and then engage with my line infantry. So here they come, guys. First wave, and hopefully this, the Swedish player learns better and waits on the rest of his army. But looking at his movements right now, it looks like he's just gonna go straight in. Okay, so good job here, lighting up the Old Guard, bringing them down. Quite a few guys, but here comes the French cavalry. They're going to have none of that light force, shooting on the run, and here they go straight into those Jaegers. Good charge. Morale's really bad with 36 guys. They do form square though, but look at this all red morale. If he mass routes, it will be a huge shame. They are holding right now, but it is not good in terms of morale. He should push up his old guard just because these guys are out of position right now. Gets a nice charge in on those Jaegers, bringing them down to 50 men. And there they go. They break. Oh no! Old guard, one volley, and those guys break. And now it is just left to this line infantry. And the reserves... They're looking onward, and they've just seen their ally or their friends just break instantly. So I am sure that has greatly affected their morale here, but it is pretty obvious at this point who is going to be victorious, and that will be the French and the Russians. So he's going to make one more push, and they are very tired. He didn't have time to rest them up, but it looks like one of those light units did come back. But the French are going to have none of that. They're going to charge straight in. Bodies flying. Horsemen flying as well. Interesting. Guess they got too excited, flew off their horse. But those guys are gone. They are out of the battlefield. And now it is down to these final four units. So Napoleon himself has said it. Wasn't on the battlefield today. But he will share the victory with his men. Cavalry not breaking. They charge. Oh no, I cannot believe this one unit of like 8 cav managed to break that entire line unit. And they're still going. The 6 guys, oh there they go. Broke at 6. Man. Things have changed so much and so drastically this game. Pretty unbelievable. So here we go, old guard, one volley. Those guys should break on impact. I don't know how they sustain such a volley. Nope, there they go. And now it is just down to 2 units. Red morale. And they both break. So good game from all sides. You see they all had fantastic kills, all in the thousands range. So let's take a look at the unit statistics. Old guards, I mean the old guard and the young guard definitely were the contributing units that won this for them. You see the old guard, only 19 losses and over 277 kills. Unbelievable. As well as the cavalry, 208. Lost pretty much everyone except for one guy. So anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Little news there. I don't know if I'm going to make a brand new video on this, but I am now a part of Barbarian Breakfast. So I'm going to be uploading on their channel. I'm going to put a link in the description. Go check them out. They are a group channel. If you guys don't know the story, their channel got deleted because just people... or someone deleted their channel, so that was a shame. But they are strong right now. I believe they're like 860 strong, so go subscribe to them. Awesome guys. You know, I met a couple, and they are just awesome. So go check them out, leave a sub, and just go watch their content. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys later.